a legally binding contract. In other words,
Which is why
They were already
breach of
married,
promise was so
basically.
important.
yes,
It's such a big
but
deal.
basically, if you look at Scotland, the majority of couples in both pre-Reformation and post-Reformation Scotland married by contract. They never bothered to go through with a church ceremony.
So they were all betrothed.
So they were essentially betrothed all of their lives. England in this period is almost unique in that the law provided that a valid marriage could only take place in a church ceremony, and even that was not made absolute until Lord Hardwicke's Marriage Act of 1753. So your Puritans are working in a pre-Lord Hardwicke marriage law environment in which the betrothal
Is legal.
is legal and is essentially a marriage. So unless you are a really uptight Puritan divine, there is nothing wrong with this one way
God
or the
created
other,
human
because neither party can get out of a betrothal any more easily than he or she can get out
The
of a
contract-
One
contract.
thing you said that is a good example of the fact that governments have always asserted control over families and the conduct of families, is that there's a loophole in the existing labor laws in the United States right now. If you are working, if you are an underage minor, if you're 18 or younger, in some states it's 21 or younger, and you are working in a business that is owned by your parents, they don't have to pay you.
Right. Especially farm states.
It's true in every state. They don't have to pay you. So you go to a Chinese restaurant, and all those kids that are running around waiting
Yeah,
tables,
bussing tables and waiting, and
they're not getting paid.
no, they're getting fed.
They're getting fed, and they don't even have to do that.
I can
Because
attest to
they
that, because I grew up, my parents had their own business. I can attest to that.
Sure.
Chinese culture
Mine
is
too.
a little bit different.
So-
The family is seen as
But-
a source of funding. You're working, but
The point is that the Chinese didn't have to get that made legal in the U.S. to do it. They're just the most obvious practitioners of it. You go out to a family farm, same thing. with
Everyone
life.
has chores, but you don't see a lot of exchange of cash
No.
for said chores.
You're not getting paid minimum wage.
You're not getting paid anything.
You won't.
And if you piss off your mom, you don't get breakfast. That's what you don't get.
I didn't want anybody to come to the false conclusion that these were slaves and they don't get
No.
anything out of it.
Well,
You know,
the difference
especially
between
the
children and
Korean
slaves is
families.
really.
I call those character building years.
Well,
We're done.
More than that. If we can
It's
get older.
Ivor, it's your turn.